Here I am, I'm about to fulfill a bunch of orders. I got a bunch of orders today here, probably about 8 to 10 of them here. Some of them are Poshmark, some of them are Mercari, and some of them are Amazon FBM. So if I fulfill like a used book or two here and there, because it's cheap, free inventory a lot of times with used books, and I'm going after maximum approval. Now, I don't recommend that for the majority of people because it does waste a lot of my time, and sometimes I even lose money on those used books. But obviously all the Poshmark and the Mercari orders, I make money on doing cashback, coupon, or liquidation arbitrage, okay? So I'm about to fulfill these orders, but I thought it would be a good opportunity to kind of go through and talk about another what sold video. So I didn't set this up. I literally just picked off 10 Poshmark orders from the most recent and 10 Mercari orders from the most recent, okay? So these probably all sold within the past week or so, roughly. I'll go through exactly what sold, how I went about acquiring the inventory, right? So like what business model, and if I can remember the site specifically, remember I haven't set this up, so I'll just give you, hey, this is what sold, this is what I sold it for, this is the profit I made, this is where I sold it, right? And if I can remember, this is how I sourced it, right? Because they're fairly recent, I feel like I'll remember where I kind of sourced them, if not the website, the specific business model, okay? So I really hope this helps a lot of you. I hope it inspires a lot of you as well. And while my, Poshmark and Mercari sales like aren't all the way up like some people's, they are relatively high. So you can take this as inspiration or take this as insight that, this is what works for me. So maybe you can replicate a lot of these things or source similar things for your own reselling business, okay? So let's just jump into it. I'm not gonna kind of beat around the bush. The first thing that's sold right here, I'll pop pictures of these up on the screen as we talk about them so you can kind of see exactly what I'm talking about. The picture of the profit proof, right? Because a lot of people can say, hey, I sold this, but I don't really want to just be like, hey, I sold all these things and this is what I made. I want to show you the exact proof, okay? So first ones are Bruno Mark Gray penny loafers. Now, I actually got lowball offers on about 5 to 10 of these, and I was kind of holding off on accepting them because they're worth a lot more. I ended up getting a lot of these shoes in a liquidation palette. I know I've talked about it in previous videos. I've been sourcing a lot of shoes lately because, in my opinion, you can get them relatively cheap if you source them correctly. They're brands, so you don't have to manufacture the demand for them already, so they sell well, and they're worth a lot more than you pay if, big if here, if you can be patient. Now, you're gonna have to be spending a lot more on liquidation pallets of shoes than you would with like cashback or coupon, so you have to spend and then be patient, but if you can spend and be patient and list high, then obviously you can make a good ROI if you're willing to be patient. That might be a couple weeks, that might be a couple months, but eventually you will make your money back and then more if you source good products. So these Bruno Mark shoes are penny loafers. I got lowball offers on a lot of these and I just decided to accept them. A, because I need to clear out a bunch of inventory. I got these behind me. I got a bunch of bins over there, but I'm running out of space. So if I acquire much more inventory, I'm gonna need to potentially move into like a storage space or a storage locker. So I do need to kind of turn over some of my stuff here so I can acquire more space for my inventory. On these, I accepted a lowball offer. They were probably worth like 40 or 50 bucks at least. I took an offer on 17, and then after fees, I ended up netting $13.60, okay? The next ones are another example of Bruno Mark penny loafers. Same exact guy lowballed me on all of these, but like I said, I decided to just accept it. I'm still profitable on these. I think I sourced each one for like $6 or $7 in the entirety of the pallet. So clearly still made $6 or $7 on them, depending on what I actually, what specifically the offer was on those shoes. I think I only pulled up 2 examples of these shoes that I sold, but they were lowball offers. So these are $15, sold them for 15, obviously. Netted $12 after fees on those. Now the next one is a bundle, and this one, these reusable emergency blankets, the 5-packs, have been selling like candy for me. I sourced 10 of them. I think I sourced them from a coupon site. I don't remember what the coupon site was. Obviously, that's how I went about acquiring 10 of them. I think it was it might have been JumpSend, honestly, or it was Vipon or SnagShout. Might have been Uber Zon Club as well. I don't remember what it was specifically. Look for those blankets on there. They are a goldmine. They've been flipping fast on Poshmark. They've been flipping fast on Mercari, and a lot of them sell relatively well as well, although this one is a bundle, and I think I sold it during a closet clear out as well, if I'm not mistaken, although I don't see that specifically here, so maybe not on the actual Poshmark fees. So I sold the blankets in the bundle for $7. I sold the doggy dental tug of war toy for $12. Ended up netting $11.30 on the bundle after fees, okay? And I had 2 more examples on Poshmark of those, but I sold like 10 of those within the past week or so. They've been flipping like freaking candy, okay? Next thing I sold on Poshmark was a modern decorative ceramic pot planter, sold it for $12, ended up netting $9.05. The next sale on Poshmark is a bundle actually, so it's a bundle of 3 different things. I ended up making a free shipping offer and lowered the price a little bit to drive a sale. It's one of my best strategies, right? List high, acquire likes, and obviously interest regardless of the platform, and then whatever the platform, either promote it on Mercari, make offers on eBay, or make offers on Poshmark, or during closet clearouts, you can obviously drop your price as well. But put simply, list high. Be patient, accumulate offers and interest, or accumulate interest and likes, and then obviously make offers so it looks like there's a perceived value there and they're getting it at a discount, even if that's not the case. So this bundle, I sold the socks in the bundle for $7. I sold the waterproof, or these were the retail value, excuse me. I had them listed super low because they were from an old liquidation palette, so I'm just trying to turn the socks over. Socks were worth $7. The backpack is actually something I also sold on Mercari. I had a number of these backpacks because, believe it or not, they were an old private label product. If I can actually pull up a bigger picture of the backpack on the screen, a failed private label product, mind you. They were like a waterproof cooler backpack, so I actually still have a bunch of them over there. I'm still listing them. I'm probably going to keep 1 or 2 for the summer because I used them last summer as well. But there is demand for them, so I'm selling them off to make a little bit extra cash flow, okay? So the cooler was retailed at $27 on Poshmark. The 5 pairs of women's shoes were retailed at $22. The person ended up bundling them together, and as soon as I saw that, I made them an offer on the bundle for free shipping and a price of $25. Okay, so the bundle as a whole sold for $25. Ended up netting, obviously, after I gave them the free shipping discount, I ended up netting $12.89 on the bundle, but keep in mind that the 5 pair women's socks I sourced, I think coupon or cashback, so I got it very, very cheap or free. The Life is Good I got for like $1 or like 50 cents in a liquidation pallet like a year and a half ago, and the waterproof backpack cooler was something that I sourced like 2 years ago for private label, so it's just been sitting dead inventory over there, so it's free cash as well because obviously I've just written that off as a loss in the past, okay? So $12.89 on that bundle right there. The next one right here is a Denver Nuggets NBA sweatshirt. Now, this sold for $45, ended up netting $36 after fees. Now, this is from a liquidation palette. This and a number of other things that I bought was from a liquidation palette that I bought on 888 Lots, right? So this inventory is super, super terrible in my opinion, right? So it's all about kind of testing certain things out to see what works for you and then replicating more of that process, right? Because I knew that this stuff was terrible, because a lot of the logos on all of these sweatshirts, and you'll see other examples when we cover them specifically in the Mercari part, right? The logos are old. A lot of them are like retro clothing. For example, like the New Orleans Jazz, that basketball team as an NBA team is an old team. It doesn't exist anymore, right? New Orleans Pelicans is the team right now, and Utah Jazz, right? But apparently the Jazz moved from New Orleans to Utah, so it's an old retro hoodie. This one is not specifically. But knowing that, you can sell it as a retro hoodie. So what I'm trying to say is all this inventory is terrible inventory. It's just taking up space here. But because you can list it super high and be patient, like I always say, it's been selling fairly frequently, maybe about one of those specific sweatshirts or cover-ups or whatever they're called, because there's a bunch of different things, have been selling probably one every couple days, and they've been selling for like 35 or 45 or 55 or 65 bucks during a sale, right? Now, for this specific palette, I paid $50. $50. For the entirety of the palette, I made an offer on 888 Lots. The palette was listed. It was like 3 different boxes. It was listed for a retail value of like 85 together, which is also super cheap. I decided, hey, I'll take a shot on it. I'll make an offer for 50. They accepted it, so I sourced like 150 of these sweatshirts for $50. That is the power of liquidation arbitrage, and that's why I recommend if you plan on scaling or reselling business up, don't get me wrong, I love the coupon arbitrage, I love the cashback arbitrage, because there are super easy ways for beginners to get into the process, right? But that said, if you plan on scaling up, if you want to take a reselling business seriously, you should really look into liquidation palettes across all the liquidation sites, because there's great deals on there, and there's great margins to be made if you can make offers, purchase them obviously for super cheap, and then list them and be patient, list high like we've talked about before. So I netted 36 bucks on this one. That practically right there almost makes minus $14 the money that I spent on the liquidation palette back already, and then I literally have 149 other ones to sell. Obviously I've sold a bunch of them already, but you get the picture. So phenomenal buy. At the time when I listed them, I was literally thinking like, shit, like these are never gonna sell, but they've been slowly selling, and eventually I plan on obviously selling out of them, so it looks like it's obviously a good buy. Very next one, an NBA Denver Nuggets sweatshirt, same palette. Sold this one for 25 bucks, ended up netting $20 after fees on Poshmark. These black boots were from the liquidation palette where I actually sourced a bunch of shoes. So these I sold for 28 bucks, which was a little bit of a lowball offer. Same exact guy like we talked about. Ended up netting $15.29, so I still doubled my money because each shoe in that palette I think was like or I think it was like $7, excuse me. So ended up more than doubling my money on these. It was a lowball offer, but I still made money. The next one is a fashion watch. So this one is actually, it looks like a high quality watch, and I could have sold it for a lot more, but I ended up just taking an offer, or excuse me, I actually made an offer. As you see up on the screen, it says less your shipping discount of $7.11. So it looks like someone maybe liked it, and then I decided to put an offer out for like free shipping and then like a low offer just to kind of turn over some inventory, because like I said, I'm trying to make some space here. So I believe I sourced this for like literally like $1 or $2 on a coupon website, or it might have been a cashback website, but regardless, it was super cheap. I know I paid like $1 or $2 max for this. It looks like a high quality watch. I had it listed for like 50 for a while. Probably went a little bit low and a little bit crazy the other day during a closet clear out. But regardless, I made an offer. This sold, and I ended up making money on it. So I sold it for 15, ended up making $4.89 after the discount. Not the best sale in the world, but hey, I made money and I made some space for other inventory. The next one is a scarf or a bandeau or whatever you call it. Sold this one for $10, ended up netting $7 after fees. So now we're going to move on to Mercari, and we'll go through these fast. Here's an example of the reusable blankets I was talking about. Sold a bunch of these. I have another one as the next example, excuse me, and I also showed you an example from Poshmark, but these have been flipping like candy, so if you see these, source these, okay? So I sold these, it looks like for $19. After fees, I ended up netting $14.11. The next example, I ended up selling these for $11, so a little bit less, but I still ended up netting $5.65. I got these on a coupon website for like 50 cents a piece or like $1 a piece. That's why I sourced 10 of them. Looking back, I wish I sourced more. This one right here is a diffuser. Sold this one for 25 bucks. Ended up netting $17.51 after fees. The next one is like an arm blaster for fitness. I ended up selling this used because I sourced it for myself to actually use when I actually lift. Didn't really like it. It didn't feel right. It kind of like pushed my arms out. Didn't feel like it was isolating my biceps at all. Sold this to somebody for $14 as a used product. So I didn't source this anywhere. I'm just telling you that. Obviously, I didn't get this on a coupon. Didn't source it on cashback. Didn't source it on liquidation. I ended up using this myself. Bought it on Amazon for myself. And then obviously decided I didn't like it, so I sold it back, okay? Made $7.61, ended up selling it for 14 bucks. This one right here, and you can tell I didn't set this up, otherwise I wouldn't have put that fitness arm blaster in there, but you know, there you go. So this rear view backup camera, got this on a cashback website. I didn't get full cash back for this, but knowing because I sold this in the past, I sold like 2 of these like 2 months ago. I saw it on another cashback website. I don't remember if it was Extreme Rebate or if it was Huns on Vines or one of those, but I sold this in the past for like 40 or 50 bucks, so I knew that I could sell this again for 40 or 50 bucks. The margin on this camera and other stuff like this and electronics on Mercari tends to be pretty high, so this is another great buy. If you see this backup camera on a cashback site, source it. I think I paid $5 or $10 for this, so it wasn't a full cash back. I ended up buying it for like, I think like 40 or 50 bucks retail on Amazon. Got like 30 or like 45 bucks back. So obviously I ended up paying 5 or 10 after the cash back, but then I sold it for 41 on Mercari. And like I said, I knew that I could do that because I've done it in the past before. So sometimes I like to take shots on other products like that and actually pay for cashback products or coupon products a little bit more if I feel like I can sell them for a discount. And to touch on that diffuser, I think I sourced that diffuser for like 5 bucks as well, knowing that I could probably flip that because the retail value is high, okay? So I sold this one for 41, ended up netting $31.91. So I probably made, you know, 25 to 20 bucks on that, or 20 to 25 bucks on that, depending on how much I paid for it on the cashback site. Next one, I sourced this on a coupon site. So I got a AAA safety kit thing, ended up selling this for 14 bucks, ended up netting a $7.61 profit, or $7.61 profit. Whoa, a lot of talking. Another example of a cooler backpack that I sold, like I said, from my private label inventory, sold this one for 13 bucks. I'm just trying to liquidate all that stuff and get it out of here so I have space. Ended up making $7.41 after fees. The next one was an example of a magnetic dry erase label stickers for like whiteboards or refrigerators. A lot of demand on these, but nobody ever ended up pulling the trigger. I think I accumulated like 12 likes on a Mercari and like 5 or 6 likes on Poshmark, but nobody ever pulled the trigger, so I made an offer on them a little bit lower, but because they were so small and the fee was so small, I still ended up netting $5.11, sold them for $9. Then the last two, here's another example of a sweatshirt. Looks like I made a low ball offer on this. Sold it for 25 bucks of this New Orleans jazz sweatshirt, right? So retro New Orleans jazz. I don't know why someone would buy this, but they did. $25, ended up making $17.51 on this. So I'm already netting like $30 or $40 just in these examples right here off that pallet, and I have 100 or 120 or so other ones left to sell because I've probably sold like 20 of them already, but I don't want to add all that up right now. So still a great sell right here. I ended up netting $17.51. And finally, the last one is an electric fly swatter thing. I guess you catch them in there and electrocutes them. Looks pretty cool to me. Sold it for 16 bucks, ended up netting $9.41.